up hanging the TC32 trail camera, cellular camera from VooPeak. But we still have 4 days left of our turkey season. So I've been sitting here before I go hang this. I've let out a few calls. Haven't heard any response. I've got a couple of deer feeding about, I don't know, 150, 200 yards away. It's a beautiful afternoon. It's hot. It's 80 degrees, but in the shade it's perfect. This is kind of what I'm looking at. All the wildflowers are out. In fact, the yellows are already on their way down. They're starting to die off. But the purples and the whites are at peak. It's just beautiful up here today. So I'm just here for probably another 20 minutes. Let out a few more calls and then just glass. See if I can pick up any more deer. Then we're gonna go get this trail camera hung, excuse me. And that, my friends, is a baby rattlesnake. You probably can't even see the rattle on the GoPro. And I'm not gonna get down close enough so that you can. But that's a baby rattlesnake right there. I've heard the small ones are the most dangerous because they don't know how to regulate their venom yet. I have no idea if that's an old wives' tale or if that's true. But I doubt he could even make a noise with his rattle. It's only got like one, maybe two little segments on it. We'll steer clear from him, and I won't mess with him if he won't mess with me. Okay guys, let me show you the setup. So you put this base in first. It's got a little clip here, and then the camera just slides down into it. Here's the clip. And then this camera just slides right down into that base. The base is mounted to the tree with 2 screws. I did bring a little drill up here and drilled a little starter hole for each screw, and then just a simple screwdriver to screw them in. Now on top of here is where we're going to mount our solar panel. So this TC32 has a solar panel. It's not integrated into the unit like some of the cameras are going to, but I actually prefer that because I like this camera to face north, but I want my solar panel to face kind of south and east. It'll get the most sun that way. So having it separate where it's not integrated will allow me to tilt it. And this mounting arm is flexible, so you can see that you can move it around to different positions. So we'll get the solar panel on and get it plugged in, and I'll show you kind of the final picture of it. All right, we got it all set up so the camera's facing almost exactly north. And then again, I've got the solar panel facing more east. It's not facing as far south as I'd like, but it'll work. That'll catch a lot of sun in the morning. I've got the app hooked up to it, so you can see that I'm seeing on my phone what the camera is capturing. The cell service right here it's right on the edge of being good enough to make this work. That's just one of the limitations in my experience of the cellular trail cameras in the West compared to the Midwest or the East, where you're hunting on a lot of private land, you're hunting closer to town, you've got good cell service. You know, a lot of the public land in Utah where I hunt, you don't get any cell service. Now, it just so happens I do get some here. So it took me a while to get my phone to connect to the camera, but as you can see, it's working. I've already played around with the zoom. It's got a really nice feature where you can zoom in right from your phone on the app. You can move the camera up, down, left, right. I've been playing with that. And then again, you can zoom out. So we're going to leave this up here for hopefully 2 weeks, then come back and pick it up. I'll know from the notifications, obviously, if we get any deer or anything on the camera. That is one of the awesome features of the cellular trail cams. If you've got the app connected, you don't have to come and check a card. You're going to get notified when stuff triggers the camera. So we're going to get everything packed up and hike down, and we'll see what we capture here over the next couple weeks. Mentioned all the purples are out. Pretty time of the year to be up in the mountains. Oh, guys, I wish I had my other camera with me. I'm watching this hawk attack this bald eagle over the water over there. That eagle's flying. I don't know if the hawk's got a nest around or something, and that hawk keeps ramming into it, and the eagle will like flip on his back midair and put his talons out. That is so cool. I've been watching through my binoculars, and now the hawk just landed, and I don't see where the eagle went. The hawk's on the other side of the water. Oh, that hawk just dove again. And it just came up. I don't know if you can see that. It just came up. Again, I wish I had my bigger camera. That's super cool, though. Well, we already had this TC32 from VooPeak out in the field, so it's not a true unboxing, but I did just want to show you how the packaging comes and everything that's included, and then I'd give you my overall thoughts. You just saw some footage from the actual camera that I included in the video. So here's the box that it comes in. Again, this is the TC32 4G solar power trail camera from VooPeak. I do want to say when they sent this to me, they included a micro SD card that doesn't normally come in the packaging according to the instructions that they sent, but they were kind enough to send me a micro SD card. They also sent me this hat, which I'm going to use in an upcoming giveaway. I have not worn it. It's been sitting since I got it. And then they sent me a kind of an upland game hunting vest, Hunter Orange, which I haven't decided yet if I'm going to keep that or not. So I may or may not use that in an upcoming giveaway, but I may use that. But so here's the packaging. You're going to get the user manual with it. And I did think the user manual was laid out really well, very easy to follow. I've said before in my videos, I'm not really a techie, so it needs to be pretty simple for me to be able to follow along, and I really thought it was. Downloading the app was easy. So anyway, that's the manual. This is the camera itself. And then this is the little mounting bracket. So you mount this bracket into the tree and then slide this into the bracket. Oops. Sorry guys, I had it upside down. So that slides into the bracket like that. And all the hardware is included. The screws you need for that is included. Now I did pre-drill some little holes in the tree that I hung it in and just used a screwdriver to put it in. It worked fine. This is the mounting arm for the solar panel. And then here you've got the solar panel and the connecting power cord for it. The solar panel measures 7 7/8 inches vertically and 5.5 inches horizontally. And I like that it's adjustable. I like that it's not integrated into the actual camera, because I like to face my cameras north, but to get more sun on the solar panel, I had it facing east
kind of east-southeast, and it worked really well. I went up and checked this twice, and it had 100% battery both times. And the first time I checked it, it had taken a ton of footage and still had 100% battery. So let me just kind of go through the pros that I see on this. So the solar panel was really easy to install, easy to adjust, easy to tilt, so you could pick up more sun. I thought that was great. As I said, the app was really easy to download, very intuitive. The instruction manual was straightforward. Battery life, as I said, was at 100%. I think the mounting bracket is a nice touch. I think if a bear or something got to it, it's going to pull it out of that bracket, but almost any plastic bracket, that's going to happen if something really gets a hold of it. I originally had the sensor on high, and I will tell you that on the high setting, it picks up everything. I had lots and lots of false positives, in the sense that just the slightest move of the flowers and the branches in the wind would trigger it, and I think that's a good thing. Then I went back and reset it to medium, and I didn't pick up as many false positives. So that's one of the reasons I went up. The beauty of a cellular trail camera is with the app, I was constantly getting notifications so I could watch the videos it was taking, and I could tell on my phone that they really weren't animal videos. They were mainly the false positives from the trees and the limbs and the flowers. So I went back up and reset it to a medium setting, and that made a big difference. With the app, you can move the camera left to right or up and down just with the simple touch of your phone. And then you can also zoom in or zoom out with your phone, which is nice. And it does have the microphone feature where you can talk through the app, and there is a speaker on the camera where you can hear the audio. So if you were using it more as a security camera and wanted to alert someone that, hey, I can see you, you could do that with the camera. When you get it, it includes 300 megabytes of essentially data for the cell plan, so that you can run the app, so that you can get pictures streamed to your phone. And then once you use that up, you have to recharge it if you want more. The cons, really not any at all. The only thing that I thought was a little frustrating is this slot for your micro SD card. It's really skinny. You're not going to be able to get your fingers in there. So getting the card in and out was a little bit of a pain. At the end of the day, that's not a major deal. That's really about the only negative thing I could think of. The other thing, when I went to pull the camera off, after I switched it from high to medium on the sensor, I did notice it didn't pick up any footage of me coming up to pull the camera off. Now, I know it was picking up footage up until the day before because I was still getting notifications, but for whatever reason, when I went up to pull the camera off, it did not have any footage of me pulling it. The price on this is $99.99 currently on their website, and I'll put a little link in the description that gives you another 10% off, so you're welcome to use that. It's very competitively priced compared to other 4G cellular trail cameras that I've seen out there. It's got a lot of features, a lot of bells and whistles, and overall I think it's a really solid camera. Personally, I don't use cellular cameras in the areas that I hunt for the most part because the cell service is just so spotty. But if you're in an area where you have good cell service, I can totally see the attraction to the 4G cellular cameras. I think they have a lot of great features. So I want to thank VooPeak again for sending this to me and giving me the opportunity to do the review on it. I'm going to clean this up, and then we'll come back and wrap up with the Minute on the Mountain. On the Mountain channel I want to shout out is a channel that I love, but I noticed he hasn't posted any new videos in quite a while, so maybe you guys have some updated info, but it's Titus over at Your Next Cast. So go show Titus some love, tell him Minute on the Mountain sent you, and I need to try and check in with him somehow and make sure everything's okay, because I haven't seen a new video from him in a long time. But love his bass fishing videos. Just seems like a super encouraging guy, and has been a great supporter of my channel. So Your Next Cast is the channel I want to shout out. The Minute on the Mountain comes from 1 Peter 5:8. We're still going through 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, but today we talked about Satan's tactics, and we just highlighted some of the tendencies we see that Satan uses, some of the tactics he uses to try and attack us. But Peter warns us in 1 Peter 5:8 to stay alert. He says, stay alert. Your enemy, the devil is like a roaring lion, and he's prowling, looking for someone to devour. I paraphrased that. I know that's not exactly what it said, but it just stood out to me. And I've heard this before, but you can hear a lion roar from up to 5 miles away. So if you get devoured by a roaring lion, you're just not paying attention. You're just not alert. You've gotten lazy. I think most of us know that, you know, cats don't really hunt prey roaring. They're silent. They stalk. So I think that's part of what Peter's trying to get at here, that the devil likes to roar. He likes to make a lot of noise, but if we're just alert, if we're aware of his tactics, he cannot devour us. So anyway, that's 1 Peter 5:8. That's the minute on the mountain. Thanks, guys, for all your support. I appreciate you coming along. Thanks again to VooPeak for allowing me to test this camera. God bless you guys. We'll see you the next time we're out on the mountain.